it going? Hope everyone's having a great day. Alright, I forgot to shoot the intro, so I came back here to shoot this. First, I'm going to show you how I straighten this blade out, and then how to grind these bevels to a mirror. Just like that. Yeah, man. So now you have something to look forward to. Alright, let's get to it. Yeah, man. Here's the knife. The hump is right here. When I put it like this, it rocks like this. So that means I'm gonna mark exactly where the hump is, and I'm gonna go put it in the vise. I just figured I'd show you this. You gotta mark it. I mean, you don't have to mark it, but you should mark it so you don't make it worse. So we're gonna have to soften the spine. Now check this out. So you can see I put a clamp over there to hold the steel, because when you're trying to put this in, you gotta hold this piece here, because there's a piece here, and then a piece on this side. So you're trying to hold the knife and the piece of steel. That side, there's nothing under the vise. So yeah, I just put a clamp or something to hold it. That way I can just hold the knife and the two pieces and slide this one in behind it, and I don't have to worry about dropping everything. Some guys make jigs, but you still have to heat this spine to soften it up, to move it in so you don't crack the blade. If you don't soften the spine or put heat on it while you're moving it, you have very good potential. Now it's been tempered twice, so actually 3 times, because I tried to put it in again and it just didn't do it. So it's been tempered, so it's soft enough, and I keep this. This is got water on it just to keep it cool. I don't want to mess up the heat treat. Now yeah, we just keep it here, torch it. That's why I put the mark, so I know exactly where it is. And as I see this turning red, I'm gonna move it in a bit. Just a little bit past straight. Bam! Now we let it cool, and that's it. Alright, so check it out. I'm going to show you, if you don't have a surface grinder, how to get the sides flat. This one was a real problem, and before, even if you do have a surface grinder, this one I could not get the hump out. No matter what I did, nothing would work. So, man, what I had to do was use this. These are just welding magnets. This one has a switch on it. I love it. And I use it to get things flat. So what I had to do, like I said, even if I was gonna put it on the surface grinder, I just hit here. You know, you just lightly tap it straight. Make sure you're straight. And you can see where the divot was. It hit here, it came down here and flattened it and took that out. Then I flipped it over and you can see it hit here and here. And now I can put it on the surface grinder, it'll be flat. You do not want to put a knife on the surface grinder if it's got a hump in it, because the surface grinder, the magnets will pull it flat. Then you surface grind it, and then the hump will go back out. In theory, I mean, I've had it happen, so not always, but I have had it happen. So what I'm going to show you is you take your magnet, if you don't have a surface grinder, for any flat knife, you know, not with a warp end, just every knife that's flat, just to get all this grit and carb off, or whatever you want to call it. I'm horrible at names. Now, you don't want to press in, you know, because if you press in, you're going to either press up or you're going to press down or side to side. You just kind of want to hold the magnet and let the belt do the work. Maybe a little bit of pressure. Just make sure the pressure is even pressure when you're pushing. You have a tendency of pushing one way or the other, up or down. I'll go in like crazy eights and I'll flip it over. Circles, crazy eights, whatever. And then until it's fine, then I'll go up 120, then ferric, and usually I don't go over 120 because like I stone wash it. Let's do this. Now on this one, the knife's a little bit bigger, so I might put my finger down like this, like my knuckle into it, and my knuckle here. But let the belt, be patient. And take it from a guy that has no patience. Be patient. So yeah, if you have to, light pressure with your knuckles here and here. But hold the middle. Because that's what I'm about to do. But I'm going to put them on the surface grinder because I got 6 knives to do. But I'm not going to do that off camera. Now let's show you how to grind bevels. Marking the sides for bevels. I just use beat up, man. I feel like I say this a million times. No batteries or nothing, broken glass. You just want the size you want. So both sides are even. Lock it down. Scribe the sides. Bam. I usually do this before I do the middle line, just because I'm going like that. I don't want to mess up my middle line. Squeak, squeak, squeak. I use a height gauge. There's other ways to do it, like with a nail, and I've seen people do it plenty of ways. I don't like to have one line. I'll try to make 2 lines as close as possible, but make sure they're 2 lines. Because if you go to 1 line, you go over the bit, then you messed up 2 lines, each side, go and do it. But what I'll do is I'll just mark the tip. Bam, just the tip. And see if that's where I want it. Now, bam, see that's 2 lines, but man, it's almost looking like 1. That's perfect. It's almost like I've done this before. Even though every piece of steel is different, so I haven't. Actually, I did it on a 52-100, and it's a W2. So, alright, bam. There's our center line. Let's get to the grinder. This is a 50. I used a 36 on the other knife for Instagram. If you're going to use like a 36, I would stop way before where you want your belt. Like, I would stop even before the notch. Like, if you have a notch here and you want your plunge line, swooping plunge to be back behind the notch, I would stop it like even a 1/4 inch with the 36, because the 36 is just going to cut straight up and over. I would just use it to hog out, and then I went from 36 to 120, and then you refine it, and then you bring it back over here, which I'm going to do. But I'm starting with a 50. I just bought 36s to see if it was still true or if I've gotten better, and it's still true. They do cut out a lot faster. But I'm still hanging the belt over. So we're gonna push up to our line. Grind like that. I always say this. You don't want your thumbs past the line you're grinding to. Keep them right on that line. You're gonna push up, then you're gonna start coming back. Do not pull back. Use your thumbs as pressure just to that's where you're gonna stop. And then you'll look at it. If you need to come back more, use the thumb to press down. But do not press back, if that makes sense. Press in and keep going lightly until you get where you want to. This is a wheel hollow grind, but the theory of bevels are all the same. This is consistent. This is not going anywhere except side to side. If you make it go side to side, it's going to come straight at you, back around. It's always going to be in the same exact spot until you move it. Unless you got a messed up wheel, and that needs to be fixed. So, this is coming exactly the same at all times. You have to make sure what you're doing here is what you want. You have to train your hand and, get the skills to keep doing everything consistent. You have to make your hands as consistent as this belt. Not the platen, not the wheel, nothing. You have to make your hands consistent to the belt. All grinds are the same. It's just some are flat, some are round, some are bigger round, some are smaller round. It's all the same. In fact, I got to change this out for the 6-inch wheel. I'm about to mess up. Hold on a second. For Instagram, I did the 15-inch wheel, but I put the flat platen on, and all of a sudden there was a grind lines here, grind lines here. I was like, oh, I guess this is a hollow grind. Like I say, what's behind the belt doesn't matter. What's in your hand is all that matters. The belt is hanging over this side. If you want swooped in, keep it right with the belt or platen or whatever if you want it straight up. Straight up. Actually, let me change that. When you go down to your line, I would keep the belt straight. Now I'm going to hang it over and swoop everything in. But this is a 50, so I'm going to keep it in front of the notch. When I get to 120, then I'll bring it back. Yeah, see now, I'm up here, bringing it down to my line. Just bringing this down. If the knife is too hot for your hands, dip it. You don't want it hotter than for your hands because it's heat treated. Who cares about burning your hands? You'll notice that this is lower than this. So don't grind in here. Like if it happens there, if you have to, I would lift, I've had to do this before where I've lifted the blade up and just tapped it in here to make it even. So when you start pulling all the way through, you're grinding even. Because if it's not even, see how this is farther up? I want to get this down so it's all one line. Because if I don't, then as I grind, I'm going to be taking more off here than here, and it's going to be inconsistent. Little things like that. Now we start, we were up here, we got everything even here. So yeah, leave your thumbs above those lines and do not pull back like this. Just push down. It's the only way I can explain it. You kind of have to pull back, but try not, just kind of guide it down. It's the only way I can tell you. Or you're going to blow out. 120 Trizac, and I'll be back on the Micron for the mirror. How's that? Well, we go 836 or 865 Trizac to 830, and then Micron. So what we're just gonna do, you know, something. I'll use this to like tap it in, to hold it, and I'll just tap it, tap it. This whole part of the blade is not touching. Just right behind the notch. We're just gonna tap it in, and bring it over. So that's it. Just like this. See, this whole part of the blade won't be touching. I'll use this finger here, tap it in, and then we'll smooth it on out. And then 120, 865, 830, I'll be back at Micron. Now I just had to go back, because as I was doing this is like a 1500 or a 2000. As I was doing it, I noticed grind lines right here. So it wasn't hitting as good right here. So I went back, but what I did is, once again, I lifted the blade up and I only hit it in where it needed to be hit in, and then I pulled it across. If you get over here, put a little bit more pressure here and lift the blade this way. You know, sometimes there's some things that don't get hit right as you're grinding. When the higher grit you get, the more it's going to tell you what you're missing. Believe me. I can't see if you can see the camera or not. There we go. There's my finger. Do 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 do. There we go. I can't. The screen is so small. I can't tell. All right, that's it for me. What else do you want? Good Lord. Yeah, man. Take it easy.